Okay, so let's do this today. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another insightful Etsy workshop, which is today aimed at helping you for effective Etsy store management with Etsy Marketplace Integration Apps settings section. So here's your host, Ketan Mishra. That's me and Rishabh Pandey back in action for the workshop. How are you doing today, Rishabh?
Well, I'm doing great. How are you, Ketan?
All the things are set up. So let's just quickly start with it. We are really excited to looking forward to this one and extend our warm welcome to the ones who have joined us today for the first time, maybe. But the information today is not to be missed. So make sure that you make note of your questions well, and you can write it down in the chat section or the question answer section, and we will be delivering the most apt responses to them. Now, here we start now. So, before we proceed with the entire workshop, here's a quick gist at what we have pipelined today. So, it starts with how settings affect the products over the app. Settings division on the application, it is divided into three sections there. That's Etsy settings, product settings, and order settings. So, we're going to dive deep into that. And then Richard will take us with an app demonstration, which would help you clear the clouds of confusion related to the settings section of the Etsy Marketplace integrations app. Now, here we begin without the delays. So, very first segment of the workshop, this is, and it is to explain how the settings section affects your application management. So, the settings panel is central to your product and order management here. That is, whatever changes you wish to see in your product or the orders, all of it can be done only through the product management and order management settings. Now, be the changes in the title, the product image, or the description, or order customization, maybe. The dedicated panel will be the one to help you. Now, once we will be having a demonstration, so things will be much more clear. Moving ahead for now, as I mentioned about the product management setting and other aspects of the workshop that needs your attention, that goes as the division in which the settings section is divided over the app. Now, it basically involves three. That is, first is Etsy settings. This is where you can work the status of your store. You can either draft, save the store, or make it live from here. Now, this action can be performed via this settings division. So, while the demo happens, you'll be having a clearer picture. Now, moving ahead, second one comes is the product management. Like I said before, product management lets you manage your products, and additionally, it is further divided into two sections. That's Shopify section and Etsy section. This will let you manage the product synchronization and other attributes. And the last one there comes is the order management. So this setting or this section basically helps you decide if you wish to manage the orders from the app or not. And it also brings you various other customization options for the incoming orders that you receive. So that would be it for a quick gist of what the setting sections look like over the app and what they basically do. Now, getting into the technical part, I would want Rishabh to have the mic and present us with the screen demonstration there.
Thank you, Ketan. So let me share my screen here.
Sure.
Okay, so I believe it's visible, right?
Yep, I can see it here.
Okay, so let's people into the setting sections for the app, starting with the Etsy settings section. So now in this part, we have two options that show you the things about your Etsy store. The first one is the Etsy shop name. Now, this is showing just the shop that is currently connected to your Shopify store. Whatever Etsy shop you have connected here will be shown, and so that you can get to know about the same. Like you can see here, I have connected my Universe 103 shop here. So it is showing in this name. Now we have already provided you the option for the reconnect in case your current shop is closed and you want to connect to a new one. So if you have reconnected your Etsy shop with a new one, that new shop name will be reflected here. So basically this setting, Etsy shop name is basically just to tell you which Etsy shop is currently connected with your Shopify store. Now, next is the shop status. Now, here are two options in the drop down. You can see live or draft. If you have set this setting to live, all your products that you publish via the application will be sent on Etsy as active products. However, if you have set this setting to draft, the published products via the application will be sent to Etsy, but they will not be available for the buyers to purchase. rather than they will stay in the draft mode until and unless you activate them to go live on Etsy. So these are the two settings in this tab. Moving on to the next one, which is the product management settings that you can find here. Now, this section, the product management is classified into two categories here: the Shopify section, you can see here, and the Etsy section. So in the Shopify section, the first setting is the auto sync. Now, as you can see here, the settings are to confirm that you are managing these pieces of information from Shopify. If you uncheck any option here, like you have here, if you uncheck any option here, it means that you don't want to manage that particular attribute from Shopify. So let's suppose you want to manage every information from Shopify except for the product titles. So in that case, you just need to disable the title option from here and save the setting accordingly from this button. Doing this, the application will not sync the data from Shopify for the title field, and rest all the other data will be synced from Shopify to the application. Now, some points that I want to highlight for this setting that you should know is this. Number one, these settings are for the Shopify section. That means this will disable the setting from Shopify to the app only. Means, for example, if you have disabled the inventory syncing here, and then you have updated the inventory directly on Etsy, in that case, it will still be overwritten because this setting, because the setting that you have disabled here is for the Shopify to app. Whatever value is present inside the application will still be sent on Etsy. Now, it is recommended that if you disable any of these settings, make sure you do the changes in the application and not on the Etsy directly, because whatever data is present on the application will still be sent to Etsy, and if any direct changes are there on Etsy are done, they will be overwritten. So moving on to the next, which is the product creation. Now, this setting is to bring your Shopify products inside the application automatically. If you want to create the product automatically inside the application from your Shopify, you simply need to enable this setting here. You can see the drop down here. It will ask you which products you want to auto create in the application, whether all products, which will bring every new product from the from Shopify to the application, only published products, which are currently published, or filter. On applying filter, you can choose on the basis of product type or vendor. So you can choose accordingly to your needs, like this. So these this means that the product type which are having clothing will be auto created inside the application. So based on your requirement, you can either select all products or you can disable if you don't want to create a new products that automatically inside the application. So Shopify product location. Now this setting is applicable when you want to create an Etsy product to your Shopify. Now we have already discussed this section, import to application, where you create the Etsy products to your Shopify, right? So now this setting is required to be provided for this. Whenever you create any product on Shopify, you need to choose from the drop down for the available Shopify locations. So you can see whatever locations you have in your Shopify, you can select it. If you have any other location, other active location in your Shopify, that will be shown in the drop down as well. So you can select it out automatically. So, so whenever you created any product from Etsy using the import to app option, that product will automatically be created in this mentioned Shopify location that you have selected here. So you only need to provide the location in the drop down and that would be done. So whenever you create any product from Etsy to Shopify, that will be sent to this location automatically. Etsy languages. This one is also required to be provided when creating the Etsy product to your Shopify. After this, the product will be created in the selected language. You can see here the default languages here, if you have any. So these two settings are important when you are going to create the products from Etsy to Shopify. And these are basically for this section, import to app. And after this, we have the Etsy section in the product management settings. So the first setting here is the currency converter. Now this setting is used when you want to when you have different product currencies in your Shopify store and Etsy shop. Like for example, you can see my Shopify store is Indian rupees and the Etsy store is in the US dollars. So in that case, to send the correct pricing, you need to provide the value in here so that the Shopify currency can be correctly converted to the Etsy shop currency. So you just need to provide the value value in here in the currency converter. Like you can see here, 1 Indian rupees is equal to, I have provided the rate here, $0.013. So whenever your products are listed on Etsy, their price will automatically be adjusted according to the value of the conversion you have provided here. So based on your requirements, you can use this setting and you can provide the conversion rate. Next in here is the Shopify locations. Now, here you will be able to see all the available Shopify locations from where you are managing your products. Currently in my Shopify store, there is only one location, so you can see here. If you have more locations, more active locations, that will be shown here in this section. So based on your requirement, you can enable or disable the locations according to your needs. Manage listings on Etsy via the application. Now, this setting will allow you to either manage or restrict the information like price, inventory, or product uploading about your products on Etsy via the application. Now, this management is done from the app to Etsy. The first one, the auto sync setting, is used for syncing from Shopify to the application, and this one is basically for the management from the data from the application to Etsy. So, like if you don't want to send the product title on Etsy from the application, you need to disable it, and you can completely disable the option for this. So based on your needs and requirements, you enable or disable this management from the app to Etsy. Mentioning it once again, this setting disables the syncing from the application to Etsy, and the former one, the auto sync setting, enables or disables the syncing from Shopify to the application. So these two are completely different settings that manage different sections inside the application. And just like the product management, you can just like the product management, you can enable or disable the sync price and inventory option for this using this checkbox. So if you have disabled this, no price or inventory will be managed using by the application to it. And last, in the product management settings, we have the auto delete settings, delete listings on Etsy. Now, enabling these settings will delete the products automatically from the application and Etsy. Here you can see the options whence the products will be deleted. Now, the first one, this one will delete the products from app or Etsy or even both when the Shopify product is deleted. So if you have selected this, you can provide the option on Etsy or app. You want to delete the Shopify product from application and Etsy both, or only inside the application. So you can choose it around. The second one will delete the products from app as well as Etsy when the Shopify product is unpublished or archived. So if any product is unpublished in Shopify and you want to delete it from the application as well as Etsy, you can enable this option. So whenever any product from the Shopify is unpublished or archived, that will be deleted from the application as well as Etsy automatically. And the third one here will delete the products from the application and Etsy when your Shopify product is out of stock. So you can enable this as well according to your needs. So that would be it for the product management settings. These are all the things that you can do in the application to manage your products as per your requirements. And with that, let's head over to the order management settings of the application that you can find here. Now, here we have this settings is also divided into two categories, which is the Etsy section as well as Shopify section. So in the Etsy section, the first one we have is the order management. In this, you have these options. If you want to manage incoming Etsy orders via the application, you need to enable it like this. After you have enabled this setting, the Etsy orders will be fetched by the application and synced to your Shopify store. And once the tracking details are updated, the same will be sent to Etsy and the order will be marked as completed on Etsy. Now, this is one of the global requirements among the users. So I believe this must be kept enabled at your end so that you can manage the orders efficiently using the application. Next we have here is the managed shipment from the application. Now, as I have already mentioned, the application provides you the complete management for the orders. So if you want to update the tracking details on Etsy via the application, you can enable this setting. This setting is dependent on the first one. So, and also this one is also is one of the global requirements for the users. Now, next here is the ship order on Etsy without tracking number. We have already discussed this in our last workshop. There may be a case where you can ship the order without the tracking number. So you can enable this setting based on a requirement, and we have added this settings on the user's necessity. So based on your needs, we have introduced this setting so that if you need to ship an order without a tracking number, you can do it effortlessly. All you have to do is enable this setting here using this checkbox. Now in the query here, we also have the setting for email me a copy of this fulfillment update. If you have enabled this setting, you will also receive a notification when the shipment of the order is done. So you can enable or disable it accordingly. Lastly, here is the message to buyer. You can provide a text for your buyer, which will be sent to him via notification. So you can provide it out, whatever message you want to send to your buyers. Now, order shipment carrier. Based on the custom requirements, we have added this setting in the application where you can provide a specific shipment carrier of your choice. By default, it is set to other here, but you can provide the relevant carrier you are using for the orders. So whatever shipping carrier you have provided here will be sent to the Etsy in the fulfillment details. Now, next is the Shopify section. That's it for the Etsy one. Now, moving on to the Shopify section. And the first setting over here is the Shopify order tags. Now, there are some customized tag options which can be added to your order when sent to Shopify. This is basically for the reason you can define which order is synced from Etsy to your Shopify store. So you can check the relevant tags you want to send in your orders when sent to your Shopify via the application. So you can select the options here. Shopify shipping method as Etsy shipping profile name. Well, this setting can be used during the order sync to Shopify. If there will be no shipping method and shipping upgrade received from Etsy order data, in that case, shipping template name that you have provided in the template section will be passed to your Shopify order in the shipping methods. So if you want to do so, you can enable this setting accordingly. These are some custom requirement based settings that you can enable or disable related to your needs. So next here is the cancel order management. If you enable this setting, the orders that are cancelled by the buyers on Etsy, a tag in your Shopify order will be added, like cancelled by Etsy customers. So you can enable it out or you can keep it disabled based on your requirements. Similar is the next, buyer accepts marketing. This setting will send the marketing related emails to your buyers if you run any sales on Shopify products. So you can enable this setting if you want to send the email to your buyers for any marketing related promotions for your products in the Shopify when the orders have been placed on Etsy. This we have also introduced as for the custom requirements of the client. So based on that, you can enable or disable this setting. Next is the Shopify order name as Etsy receipt ID. If you enable this setting, we will send Etsy receipt ID on your Shopify order name index. All of these are based on the custom requirements, as I already mentioned. If you need it, you can chat with us and you can get the things implementations efficiently. Moving on to the next is the send default notes to Shopify in order. Now, like it's mentioned here, if your order doesn't contain any gift message or buyer message from Etsy, then this default note will be added on your Shopify order. So you can provide the text accordingly you need. So this message, if in case there is no default no buyer's message, this default note will be sent to your orders when received in your Shopify. Now, disable Etsy tags for all countries in Shopify order. If you have enabled this option, this order setting was recently introduced, and if you don't want to include the taxes, you can enable this option. Enabling this setting, no taxes will be sent in the order when synced to your Shopify. And the last one, the order tag split setting. This setting is also recently introduced that allows you to add specific tax values for different countries. You can apply custom tax for the countries by simply choosing the countries from the drop down and entering the tax percentage you want to apply on that specific country. To do so, you need to enable this option. Here you can see the further options where you want to include the taxes, and in the drop down you can provide the country and the relevant tax. Like if you are choosing the countries here, you can provide what tax value you are charging. Similarly, you can add more countries here and you can charge different taxes according to your requirements. So that would be it. That would be all in the settings section: Etsy setting, product management, and order management. You can always have a chat with us for your requirements, and that would be it from my side. Kevin, over to you.
All right, so just let me quickly share my screen back there. Cool. So the screen is visible, right?
Yes, Ketan, it's visible.
All right, so that's all for the app demonstration section here. Thanks a lot for all that information, Rishabh. I hope this must have cleared much of the confusion or has helped our users who are attending today with their app experience. Now, moving on, I would once again request everyone to share their questions if they have any right now, and we'll be answering them right away. Moreover, if you have any confusion in the future, you can drop us a mail at Etsy Marketplace Integration at the rate CedCommerce.com, and that's going to be all for today now. Now, moving ahead, there's much more to learn further about Etsy. So, guys, don't forget to check our podcast on Everything Etsy. That's streaming on all platforms. So, the name is Sell Around the Globe. So, you can search it on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast. Now, further ahead, here is the links to all the official documentation from CedCommerce for all the settings section that we discussed today. So you'll be receiving a copy of this material in your inboxes, from where you can have an access to all of it. Now ahead, we have one thing to make a note of, that this workshop, that's workshop number 5 for us. That's the last of many we have had for demonstration of Etsy Marketplace integration apps working and its features. So this is the last one, and you will be, as I mentioned, you'll be receiving a copy of this very presentation in your inboxes. You can have a look at our previous workshops where we have covered the overview about the app. Then we have learned about the templates and profiling over Etsy. And furthermore, we discussed about the product sections and everything that covers up the Etsy Marketplace integration app. Now, with this, we have come to an end of this small, quick, but insightful workshop today. If you still have some questions, as mentioned, you can drop it on Etsy Marketplace Integration at the rate CedCommerce.com. And we hope this has helped you all, this very series of our workshops, sir. We will come back very soon with yet another material we are working upon, which is going to be a tutorial to help you ease the selling operations from the app itself. So we're still working on it. Till then, stay tuned, and thank you so very much. Thank you so much, Rishabh, for having your time.
Thank you, Ketan, and thank you everyone for joining here.
Yep.